So it's been announced today that MLS is expanding once again, this time in Miami. And once again, with each and every one of these press conferences celebrating so-called MLS success, we really need to step back and look at if MLS is actually achieving success in American soccer. Are the metrics that are touted as success for MLS actually proper indicators for the overall success of U.S. domestic club soccer as a whole? So in this press conference today, the big lines were look at, compared to 10, 15 years ago, how fast MLS has expanded. The speed of expansion is supposed to tell us anything. If anything, MLS has been compared to a pyramid scheme before, with expansion fees getting higher and higher and the rate of expansion increasing. And from what it looks like, MLS said it was going to stick at 24 teams for a while. This is a couple years ago they said this, and now look at where we're at now. We're about to eclipse 24 and head into the high 20s, up towards the 30 to 32 mark that you see in U.S. sports. And so what you're seeing is rushed MLS expansion, and it looks like the some entity is rushed by pressure and competition from the lower divisions. So take Cincinnati, for example, FC Cincinnati. A few years back, they were nothing, a small club, and then all of a sudden, they burst onto the scene and started drawing 20,000 a game, 30,000 a game, and all of a sudden, MLS is forced to put other expansion candidates like Sacramento or Miami on the back burner, and all of a sudden someone like FC Cincinnati becomes the number one expansion candidate simply because MLS's hand is just kind of forced. What happens if you leave thriving lower division competition intact? Well, they're just going to rise up and maybe join an alternate to MLS, a competitor of MLS like NASL in Division II, and MLS can't have that. It needs to snuff out that competition, and that's why you see MLS rating so many teams from the lower divisions, the USL, NASL. Whenever a team finds success or traction in the lower divisions, despite being stuck under the glass ceiling of no promotion to Division I, MLS swoops in to try to absorb or buy out that team, although it's really the teams paying MLS to take ownership of them, which doesn't make sense at all to me. So, this rushed expansion is really in response to pressure and competition from the lower divisions. The lower divisions in America are being sustained by the passion of the American people, despite the odds, or despite the low to zero return on investment prospects of the lower divisions. Fans are still pouring themselves into the lower divisions. And I hope that one day we can open the system so that commitment and excellence can be adequately rewarded, both from a business side of a club perspective and from a on-field success perspective. Teams should be allowed to move up based on how they play and how their club infrastructure functions around them. And also there's pressure ever increasing from people who want to see America align with the normal version of soccer seen around the world. They want to see America embrace soccer's essence, which is equality and opportunity for all. We don't want to see soccer forced into the U.S. sports model, one that excludes most of America from real opportunity. I'm talking about more than just playing. I'm talking about actually owning teams or clubs, having a ownership stake in the ecosystem itself. Americans can see the wild success of global soccer all over the world, and it's simple to conclude that the missing ingredient or missing piece is that America refuses to run its soccer like the rest of the world. So, rushed MLS expansion thanks to lower division competition growing and increasing and pressure to align with an open system. And again, what are the proper metrics to measure MLS by? If you really want to see how well it's doing, just look at the TV numbers. That's what it really all comes down to. You can have local teams in local cities that can draw decent numbers, 10, 20, 30,000. Okay, that's something, but that is not an accurate indicator of MLS success as a whole. Just because you have an average of 20,000 people coming to games in 10 different cities, that's a drop in the bucket compared to the American soccer market as a whole and its potential. So that is nowhere near the vast potential that American soccer has. And so what's the ultimate indicator? It's TV ratings. It all comes down to that. And as of last year, MLS is capturing 7% of U.S. soccer TV ratings. So everybody's watching Liga MX Mexico and foreign leagues in Europe around the world, but only 7% of us are watching MLS. And MLS used to have a bigger portion of that market share a while back. And I'm kind of lumping internet search ratings into this as well, because that kind of factors the same as TV ratings. But MLS used to have a larger share before we had such great access to foreign authentic soccer around the world. Ever since we've been exposed to the real thing, we've seen that MLS is not authentic soccer. And we've made our decision clear. We want the real thing. We don't care for MLS as a majority. And so maybe MLS is successful in its own eyes in terms of a business, but that's one thing. But if we want to say, MLS has been successfully leveraging and capturing the vast potential of American soccer, it's not even close. And so now we get to the question, why does MLS deserve our Division I sanction? Can it go play off on its own without a D1 sanction, just like U.S. sports leagues do, NFL, NBA, MLB, without a D1 sanction of their own? And so, again, the measure of success is all wrong, and you'll hear the storylines through media outlets and in stories and in video pieces. MLS is doing great. Look, another team, another stadium. But in reality, if you actually look at the humans, the people, the market, and what they are paying attention to, again, it's 93+% paying attention to the foreign product, not caring about the inauthentic closed shop version here in America. And that 7% slice that MLS has, it's only going to continue to shrink. The U.S. soccer market as a whole is going to expand. MLS might grow a little bit, but in terms of the overall market, their slice of the pie is only going to shrink. So align ourselves with the authentic version of soccer, or continue to see our domestic club soccer fail to grab interest and to capture attention of the vast U.S. soccer market. We have such awesome potential here. That's why this fight is so worth it, to open the USA soccer market to all, and can do so much good for America as a whole from a socioeconomic standpoint beyond just sports. So let's do the right thing. Let's get on the right side of history. We're clearly not going in the right direction in terms of our domestic game and our national team. So let's right the ship now instead of waiting for another 5-10 years or another World Cup qualifying failure. Let's heed the warning signs now and do what's right, align ourselves with the essence of global soccer. So if you like this video, make sure to share it out across different social media channels, and also make sure you subscribe. Hit that button right beneath my channel, right beneath this video, and I'll talk to you soon.